Please like the video and share it so that it reaches many more people and you get sawaba, or rewards from Allah. This could be a sawabe jariyah or continuous reward for you long after you are gone.
Volume 3, Book 36, number 472. Narrated by Abdullah bin Umar. I heard Allah's apostle saying, 3 men from among those who were before you set out together till they reached a cave at night and entered it. A big rock rolled down the mountain and closed the mouth of the cave. They said to each other, nothing could save you from this rock, but to invoke Allah by giving referenda to the righteous deed which you have done, for Allah's sake only. So, one of them said, O Allah, I had old parents and I never provided my family, wife, children etc., with milk before them. One day, by chance I was delayed, and I came late, at night, while they had slept. I milked the sheep for them and took the milk to them, but I found them sleeping. I disliked to provide my family with the milk before them. I waited for them and the bowl of milk was in my hand and I kept on waiting for them to get up till the day dawned. Then they got up and drank the milk. O Allah! If I did that for your sake only, please relieve us from our critical situation caused by this rock. So, the rock shifted a little but they could not get out. The Prophet added, the second man said, O Allah! I had a cousin who was the dearest of all people to me and I wanted to have sexual relations with her but she refused. Later she had a hard time in a famine year and she came to me and I gave her 120 dinars on the condition that she would not resist my desire, and she agreed. When I was about to fulfill my desire, she said, it is illegal for you to outrage my chastity except by legitimate marriage. So, I thought it a sin to have sexual intercourse with her and left her, though she was the dearest of all the people to me. And also I left the gold I had given her. O Allah, if I did that for your sake only, please relieve us from the present calamity. So, the rock shifted a little more but still they could not get out from there. The Prophet added, then the third man said, O Allah! I employed few laborers and I paid him their wages with the exception of one man who did not take his wages and went away. I invested his wages and I got much property thereby. Then after some time, he came and said to me, O Allah's slave! Pay me my wages. I said to him, all the camels, cows, sheep and slaves you see, are yours. He said, O Allah's slave! Don't mock at me. I said, I am not mocking at you. So, he took all the herd and drove them away and left nothing. O Allah, if I did that for your sake only, please relieve us from the present suffering. So, that rock shifted completely and they got out walking. Volume 3, Book 36, number 473. Narrated by Abu Id al-Ansari. Whenever Allah's apostle ordered us to give in charity we would go to the market and work as porters to earn a mud, 2 handfuls, of foodstuff. But now some of us have 100,000 dirhams or dinars. The sub-narrator, Shaqiq said, I think Abu Mas'ud meant himself by saying, some of us. Volume 3, Book 36, number 474. Narrated by Tawus. Ibn Abbas said, the Prophet forbade the meeting of caravans, on the way, and ordained that no townsman is permitted to sell things on behalf of a Bedouin. I asked Ibn Abbas, what is the meaning of his saying, no townsman is permitted to sell things on behalf of a Bedouin? He replied, he should not work as a broker for him. Volume 3, Book 36, number 475. Narrated by Kabab. I was a blacksmith and did some work for Al-As bin Wa'il. When he owed me some money for my work, I went to him to ask for that amount. He said, I will not pay you unless you disbelieve in Muhammad. I said, by Allah, I will never do that till you die and be resurrected. He said, will I be dead and then resurrected after my death? I said, yes. He said, there I will have property and offspring and then I will pay you your due. Then Allah revealed, "Have you seen him who disbelieved in our signs, and yet says, I will be given property and offspring?" 19.77. Volume 3, Book 36, number 476. Narrated by Abu Sa'id. Some of the companions of the Prophet went on a journey till they reached some of the Arab tribes. At night, they asked the latter to treat them as their guests, but they refused. The chief of that tribe was then bitten by a snake, or stung by a scorpion, and they tried their best to cure him, but in vain. Some of them said to the others, "Nothing has benefited him. Will you go to the people who resided here at night? It may be that some of them might possess something as treatment." They went to the group of the companions of the Prophet and said, "Our chief has been bitten by a snake, or stung by a scorpion. And we have tried everything, but he has not benefited. Have you got anything useful?" One of them replied, "Yes, by Allah. I can recite a ruqyah, but as you have refused to accept us as your guests, I will not recite the ruqyah for you unless you fix for us some wages for it." They agreed to pay them a flock of sheep. One of them then went and recited Surah al-Fatiha. All the praises are for the Lord of the worlds, and puffed over the chief, who became all right as if he was released from a chain, and got up and started walking, showing no signs of sickness. They paid them what they agreed to pay. Some of them, i.e. the companions, then suggested to divide their earnings among themselves, but the one who performed the recitation said, "Do not divide them till we go to the Prophet and narrate the whole story to him, and wait for his order." So, they went to Allah's Apostle and narrated the story. Allah's Apostle asked, "How did you come to know that Surah al-Fatiha was recited as ruqyah?" Then he added, "You have done the right thing. Divide what you have earned, and assign a share for me as well." The Prophet smiled thereupon. Volume 3, Book 36, number 477. Narrated by Anas bin Malik. When Abu Taiba cupped the Prophet, and the Prophet ordered that he be paid 1 or 2 sa'as of foodstuff, and he interceded with his masters to reduce his taxes. Volume 3, Book 36, number 478. Narrated by Ibn Abbas. When the Prophet was cupped, he paid the man who cupped him his wages. Volume 3, Book 36, number 479. Narrated by Ibn Abbas. When the Prophet was cupped, he paid the man who cupped him his wages. If it had been undesirable, he would not have paid him. Volume 3, Book 36, number 480. Narrated by Anas. The Prophet used to get cupped and would never withhold the wages of any person. Volume 3, Book 36, number 481. Narrated by Anas bin Malik. The Prophet sent for a slave who had the profession of cupping, and he cupped him. The Prophet ordered that he be paid 1 or 2 sa'as, or 1 or 2 muds of foodstuff, and appealed to his masters to reduce his taxes. Volume 3, Book 36, number 482. Narrated by Abu Masud al-Ansari. Allah's Apostle regarded illegal the price of a dog, the earnings of a prostitute, and the charges taken by a soothsayer. Volume 3, Book 36, number 483. Narrated by Abu Hurairah. The Prophet prohibited the earnings of slave girls through prostitution. Volume 3, Book 36, number 484. Narrated by Ibn Umar. The Prophet forbade taking a price for animal copulation. Volume 3, Book 36, number 485. Narrated by Abdullah bin Umar. Allah's Apostle gave the land of Khaybar to the Jews to work on and cultivate and take half of its yield. Ibn Umar added, the land used to be rented for a certain portion of its yield. Nafi mentioned the amount of the portion, but I forgot it. Rafi bin Khadij said, the Prophet forbade renting farms. Narrated, Ubaydullah Nafi said, Ibn Umar said, The contract of Khaybar continued, till Umar evacuated the Jews from Khaybar.